Hi, good morning. My name's Shelley and welcome to my vlog, The Willow Tree Queen. It's early on a Monday morning, which is probably why I look like I'm still half asleep. I actually feel like I'm dressed for work, but Monday is my non-working day. I realised I don't have a vlog to put up today, so I'm coming on quickly to tell you about a couple of things that I've made. My area, as you can see, my ironing board is up and so is my iron because I'm in the process of making another project which I will most definitely have ready to share with you next week. So there's at least I've got some planning in the way. Bear with me. Oh, I literally have only just got up. So this week I have been working on this here, which I'll share next week, but also a couple of refashions that I've wanted to do for a while. If you've watched any of my previous vlogs, you may recall a black t-shirt and a black and white plaid shirt, and I had mentioned that I had bought them both from a charity shop with the idea that I was going to thrift flip them into a single garment, so a t-shirt that had flannel sleeves. I like the black flannel shirt so much I didn't want to rip it up, so I didn't do that. So the black t-shirt became my my gingham dress with the almost raglan sleeves that I made up. So I'm just leaning forward because everything I need is down here. I should have put it up here really. So what I did is I went to my local charity shop. I'm a regular there pretty much every Monday, although I'm not sure I'm going to go today because it's very rainy out there. And I found a plaid shirt just like this. And this is what I wanted to do basically. So I wanted to connect the t-shirt. So I went and searched through my husband's side of the wardrobe, because if you dig deep enough you can find t-shirts in there that are at least older than our oldest child, and he's 30 years old. So I found this t-shirt, a hot tuna t-shirt with its logo somewhat working off. It's still in pretty good condition. There's no holes in the t-shirt, but it was definitely too small for my husband now. So I got his permission and I took it apart, and I took the sleeves off of both sides of the t-shirt, and then I took the center out of the shirt and I mashed them together and created this. Now, it was a complete and utter happenstance that they were exactly the same length. I don't know how that happened. This was a man's small shirt, so it wouldn't have fit me and it wouldn't have fit my husband. It might have fit my son, but my youngest son. But funnily enough, the t-shirt, and I didn't have to do any stretching or anything, but the t-shirt and the shirt ended up being exactly the same length. So that was just quite coincidental. And I was really proud of myself because on this shoulder, I managed to match up both shoulder seams perfectly. However, on this side, not so much. So, you know, there's the seam on there. There's the seam on there. So, but it still sits and wears nicely. So, and it is so warm and very nice. I'm going to enjoy wearing this in the winter with a pair of jeans, as I've shown in the video that hopefully you have had time to watch. So yes, so I was very happy with that. That was one of my first makes last week. Then I, again, if you've watched any of my previous videos, you'll know that I found a bag full of my husband's old shirts. During COVID, we basically packed away all of his shirts into those vacuum packed bags. And since everybody started going back in the office, but he doesn't wear shirts anymore. It's casual all the time. So I found this bag of shirts. He doesn't need them, and in fact, as I was going through them, they were quite old. I don't know why we were even keeping them, and I decided to start mixing, having a play with them and seeing if I could recycle them. I made the dress in a previous vlog, and this time and I have to give all credit to Loves Red Sews here on YouTube and on Instagram. Claire had done a recycle as part of one of the I think that's called the Busy Bees challenge that she's doing with some other vloggers, and she had taken, I think, a couple of her husband's shirts, or it might have been some thrifted shirts, I can't remember now, and she had created I think she might have used the Fleur dress from Fabric Godmother, But anyway, she gave me some ideas. I know she didn't like that shirt that much. I'm not entirely certain about my shirt, to be honest. But I decided to see, a bit of my other project there, to see if I could get an actual pattern out of a couple of my husband's shirts rather than just winging it and putting it on and cutting it up. So I got the Sagebrush top from Friday Pattern Company, and I laid it out onto a couple of my husband's shirts, and I did indeed manage to get a whole Sagebrush top out of a couple of my husband's shirts. I did make a couple of alterations to this. You'll see is there's another vlogger, I think it's called Shabby Road Studios or something like that, and she does a lot of upcycling. I love watching upcycling YouTubers on YouTube and Instagram, and it's either her or it's another one. I can't remember. If I remember, I'll try and find the details. And she has a tendency to sort of dye the things that she's put together, and she'll bleach them, and it's after she's constructed the thing, because it then sort of makes it more cohesive. So I decided to have a go at doing that as well, and I do think it kind of worked. The original colour of this shirt was this sort of dark brown with like red and sort of pink lines in it. I did feel that they both matched, because there's the original colour of that shirt as well. So they both got the same sort of dark red and white, and yeah, the colours are definitely matching. But obviously the patterns were not. So I decided to have a play with some bleach, and I actually really love how it looks. I also added, because I do find Friday Pattern Company, I'm wearing a Donny shirt today, and it's very cropped, so it doesn't have the same problem, but if I lengthened it, I wouldn't get it over my hips. And the I know I could grade it, and I probably should. And the Sagebrush top is no difference, and I completely forgot when I was doing it to do that grading out. So what I ended up doing is taking a couple of panels from the other shirt and sliding them into the side areas. They don't match, they're not the same size, but they work, and it's actually a very comfy. The fabric has gotten softer for some reason. Yeah, it's a very comfy shirt, and I don't mind how it looks. My husband is very much, this will be flattering, but he says that about practically everything I make, because he wants me to show off an hourglass figure that he seems to have in his mind that I have. So I got the other shirt pocket and put it on here. The original shirt pocket is still there, although it's somewhat hidden. I left the buttons, and they do still open, and I did play with the idea of making it fully button up, but that I wanted the top part to be on the bias, because I just love the idea of crisscross. Funnily enough, once I'd done that, I realized I didn't have enough to make actual bias for the neckline. So you'll notice that the neckline there is on the straight grain, which doesn't seem to be a problem. It does stand up a little bit, but I'm okay with that. And rather than a button closure, I always add ties. So I just lengthen the neck binding to allow for me to tie it at the back, which in the video that I am hopefully showing you, I didn't tie very tightly, so the neck looks quite large. But anyway, so that was my second thrift flip, if you like, or a refashion that I did last week. One final thing that I've been working on is a scarf, as in the Northern Hemisphere, we're moving into winter now, and it's certainly, I mean, it's very hot and sticky, but at the same time, it feels very wintry. It's a very strange sort of situation we're in. Autumn is confused. So anyway, I had some of this yarn. Oh, I thought I had the thing with what sort of yarn it is. Let me just check. Nope, I've put it somewhere and then forgotten to get it out. So if I can find the details, if anyone who's interested, I will put the details of what this yarn in. So I had this variegated yarn, which I'm pretty sure I got in a Hobbycraft, which is a local craft store here in the UK. And I made this hat using, I think it was Bag O'Day is the name of the YouTuber. So I made the bucket hat, and then I found another YouTuber who was showing how to make these flowers. So I've had a hat from Monsoon, which is a clothing brand from many years ago. That was a crochet hat, that had a big flower on it like this, and I loved it, and I've lost it. So I thought I would recreate it. This is very much more colourful than that one was, because it was black and white, as I recall, or grey and black. So anyway, I made this hat, and I had quite a lot of the yarn left, because I think I, as with most sewing projects, I don't buy fabric or yarn for a specific thing. So I don't buy the exact amount told to me on the pattern. So I just grabbed like 6 skeins of this yarn. So I've got quite a lot left, and I have made a poncho as well, which I think I've shared on Instagram. So anyway, over the last couple of nights, I think it took me 2 evenings watching TV, and then a little bit of yesterday afternoon just to finish it off, to put the tassels on. I made a scarf. So I'm very pleased with this. It's actually quite symmetrical, which is unusual for me, until you get to the bottom, and then we've got a bit of a bump out on this bottom, but it's okay. It's a scarf. And I just used I don't know if this is the British or the American term, but it was a half double crochet, where you go through all 3 of the things rather than making a double crochet. Anyway, so that was the stitch that I used, and then I just went around the edge with I think an actual double crochet. So yeah, and then I added tassels. So now I have a matching hat and scarf for when it does get proper cold, which, the way it feels, it's probably going to get there quite soon. So yeah, so that was my activities for this week. Like I said, next week I'm going to have details of this, which is I had roughly 3.5 meters that I got in a remnant bin from a shop in Brighton, and I've actually managed to get 2 dresses out of it. So I'm going to share those 2, 1 fabric, 2 dresses next week. I thought I would just quickly mention this iron. So a lot of us have gone and got one of these Olicio irons, which is the one that with the feet that will, when it's turned on and you pick it up, the feet rise. So if you let go of it and on top of your fabric, it will lift up, so it won't burn your fabric. So it's a great feature. They're very expensive irons. I actually got this for my birthday last year. I do love a gadget. There are a couple of things I would say with this that I find a bit challenging. I don't know if anyone else is like me, but I swap hands when I iron. So I will iron one way, and then I'll turn it around and iron the other way. Obviously, if you let go of this for too long, the feet come down, so it rises up, so you can't do that. Also, like at the moment, I've turned the iron off. I've unplugged it. It doesn't have an off switch, so you have to unplug it. And it's still kind of hot, but I can't use it because when it's off, the feet are out. So with a normal iron, you can, use the residual heat for a project when you want to, and you can't with this. So a couple of things to bear in mind if you do think about buying one of these Olicio smart irons. It's also very heavy. So yeah, so that's that. Thought I'd mention it. I'm wearing, like I said, I'm wearing a Donny shirt today. This is a project I made a few months ago. It's I'm trying to remember. I can't remember who it is, but I absolutely love it. I do regret some of this placement, but I think I only had a remnant piece, so I had less than a meter. So I had to, at least I didn't end up with lions on my boobs. So there's that. But and I'm wearing it with a Peppermint Pocket skirt. This is actually the same fabric as the pair of trousers. That was it. It was making an outfit in a day. So I made this shirt and a pair of trousers in this fabric in a day. And I love the trousers. I do wear them, but with this shirt's just too cropped for me with those trousers. So I had a bit of this left, quite a bit of it actually, and I managed to get a Peppermint Pocket skirt. I did make the pockets a little bit shorter than they're meant to be, but they're still big pockets. So yeah, I'm very happy with that. Anyway, that's me waffling on for long enough, and my coffee's probably getting cold. So I hope you enjoyed that quick catch up, and if you're interested in seeing my 1 fabric 2 dresses next week, please like and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye.